Kaylee, we were just talking about masks. You said at Honeywell, the president was told by the folks at Honeywell, as was the team, that they didn't need to wear masks. The reason he was told that was because the people who would be interacting with him had all been tested and had been shown to be negative before that took place, I guess. So the president had those circumstances. Obviously, he's the president. But why shouldn't all Americans who go back to work be able to get a test before they do to feel comfortable in their own work environment to be interacting with other individuals?
Yeah, well, let's dismiss a myth about tests right now. If we tested every single American in this country at this moment, we'd have to retest them an hour later and then an hour later after that, because at any moment you could theoretically contract this virus. So the notion that everyone needs to be tested is just simply nonsensical.
Except, as the reporter said, Trump requires everyone around him to be tested. Just a reminder about McEnany's credibility. Here's what she said back in February.
Absolutely. This president will always put America first. He will always protect American citizens. We will not see diseases like the coronavirus come here. We will not see terrorism come here. And isn't that refreshing when contrasting it with the awful presidency of President Obama?
Oops. Old takes exposed. Perhaps we shall expose that ridiculous take. Unreal. Unreal. I mean, downplaying the importance of testing is imperative to furthering the narrative that the Trump administration has done an adequate job, which obviously it has not. We are way behind where we need to be in testing. And look at the straw man she sets up. No one's saying everyone needs to be tested every hour. Are you joking? It's so fake. Right, they set up a premise that no one's agreeing to and then act like it's a ridiculous request. When really it is that let's just catch up to the rest of the world in terms of testing. Per capita, we are significantly behind, and we're leading the world in coronavirus cases, so perhaps we want to catch up there. And again, downplaying testing, it's so egregious and fake news, false. And just to reiterate, testing is one of the 3 most important things, including social distancing, to combating coronavirus. The Trump administration said on April 27 that the U.S. will soon have enough capacity to conduct double the current amount of testing for active infections. The country has done nearly 248,000 tests daily on average in the past 7 days. Doubling that would mean 496,000 a day. But that's not nearly enough. One prominent research group, Harvard's Global Health Institute, proposes that the U.S. should be doing more than 900,000 tests per day as a country. This projection, released Thursday, is a big jump from its earlier projection of testing need, which had between 500,000 and 600,000 daily. Harvard's testing estimate increased, said Ashish Jha, director of the Global Health Institute, because the latest modeling shows that the outbreak in the United States is worse than projected earlier. And how important is the testing? As I asked earlier, testing is outbreak control 101, because what testing lets you do is figure out who's infected and who's not, Jha says, obviously. And that lets you separate out the infected people from the non-infected people and bring the disease under control. This approach is how communities can prevent outbreaks from flaring up. First, test all symptomatic people, then reach out to their close contacts and test them, and finally, ask those who are infected or exposed to isolate themselves. So you can either have adequate testing so that the people who are infected can isolate themselves and reopen the economy, or you can't reopen the economy, or you can't reopen the states. That's it. It's a zero-sum game in that you have to get over that hurdle, or you're out of luck, Trump administration. But of course, states are starting to reopen anyway, and those Harvard models are based on social distancing continuing through May 15th. So testing capacity is going to need to increase. Their numbers are going to increase for what they need, because half of states are already reopening. That May 15th date, it's not going to happen. States are already going to begin reopening. So downplaying the importance of testing is insane. And again, that's what you have to look at these press briefings like. That's what you have to look at the everyone that works for the Trump administration like. They are an arm of the Trump Incorporated marketing team trying to cover his ass, and that's it.